Stop everything you're doing right now. What I'm about to share with you in the next 80 minutes will either change your entire life or you'll ignore it and continue living the same year over and over again. The choice is yours, but I need you to understand something critical. Successful people in 2026 won't be lucky. They won't be more talented. They won't have advantages you don't have. They'll simply be people who made a decision today, right now, to stop living on autopilot and start living with purpose. If you're tired of setting goals you never achieve, if you're exhausted from starting and stopping, if you're frustrated with seeing others succeed while you stay stuck, then you're in exactly the right place. Because what we're going to build together isn't temporary motivation that fades by tomorrow. We're going to engineer a complete transformation of your mindset, your habits, and your daily actions. My name is irrelevant. What matters is the message I'm about to deliver and whether you're ready to receive it. This isn't a typical motivational speech filled with empty platitudes and feel-good nonsense that leaves you unchanged. This is a blueprint. This is a battle plan. This is your roadmap to becoming someone completely different by the end of 2026. Here's what we're going to cover in the next hour and 20 minutes. First, we're going to shatter the illusions that have been keeping you stuck. We're going to confront the uncomfortable truths about why you haven't achieved what you want yet. Then, we're going to build a complete system for success, covering your mindset, your daily habits, your environment, your relationships, and your long-term strategy. But here's what I need from you. I need your complete attention. Not partial attention while you're scrolling through your phone, not background listening while you're doing something else. If you're serious about transformation, if you truly want 2026 to be different, then give me your full focus for the next 80 minutes. Turn off distractions, get comfortable, open your mind, and prepare to challenge everything you thought you knew about success. Because by the time we're done, you'll have two choices. You can go back to your old life with new knowledge that you ignore, or you can take immediate action and begin the most important transformation of your life. Most people will choose comfort. Most people will choose familiarity. Most people will let fear win, but you're not most people. That's why you're here. That's why something inside you is searching for more. That's why you refuse to settle for mediocrity even when it would be easier. You have greatness within you that's been dormant, waiting to be awakened. And today, right now, we're going to wake it up. So take a deep breath, clear your mind, and let's begin your awakening. Chapter 1, The Awakening, the Decision Point. Right now, in this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. Not the kind you can see on a map, but the kind that exists in the space between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. This isn't just another year approaching. This isn't just another motivational message that will fade by tomorrow morning. This is your chance to rewrite the entire narrative of your life. Let me be crystal clear about something that most people refuse to accept. Success in 2026 won't happen by accident. It won't fall from the sky like rain. It won't knock on your door while you're scrolling through social media, binge watching another series, or waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Success is engineered. Success is crafted. Success is built brick by brick, day by day, by individuals who make a decision, a real, bone-deep, soul-shaking decision to stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. You've heard motivational speeches before. I know you have. You felt that temporary high, that rush of inspiration that makes you believe you can conquer the world. You've made promises to yourself in moments of clarity. You've set goals on New Year's Eve. You've declared that this time will be different. And then what happened? 3 days later, maybe a week if you were really committed, you were back to your old patterns, your old excuses, your old life. The motivation faded like morning mist, and you found yourself right back where you started. This time needs to be different. This time must be different because we're not just talking about motivation here. Motivation is a spark. It's a moment of excitement. But what we're building together is transformation. Transformation is permanent. Transformation changes your identity. Transformation makes you into someone new, someone who doesn't need constant motivation because discipline has become your default setting. Think about your life right now. Really think about it. Don't just skim past this. Actually pause and reflect. Are you living or are you just existing? Are you building something meaningful or are you just passing time until time passes you? Are you growing, evolving, and becoming more? Or are you shrinking, playing small, and settling for less than you deserve? These aren't rhetorical questions. These are the questions that separate those who make history from those who watch it unfold from the sidelines. The truth, the real truth that nobody wants to hear is that you already know what you need to do. Deep down, beneath all the noise of daily life, beneath all the doubts that plague your mind, beneath all the fear that keeps you frozen, you know. You know exactly what habits are holding you back. You know which relationships are draining your energy and pulling you down. You know which activities are wasting your precious time. You know which dreams you've been too afraid to chase because you're terrified of failing, of being judged, of discovering that maybe you're not as capable as you hoped. The question isn't what you need to do. You already have that answer. The question is, will you finally do it? Will you finally take that first step? Will you finally bet on yourself? Will you finally become the person you've always known you could be? Building intensity, the wake-up call. Here's something nobody tells you, something that might make you uncomfortable but needs to be said. The life you're living right now, in this exact moment, is a direct result of the decisions you made yesterday, last week, last month, last year. Every single choice you've made, no matter how small it seemed at the time, has led you to this exact point. The job you have or don't have, the relationships you're in or not in, the body you're living in, the bank account you're checking, the skills you've developed or neglected, all of it, every single bit of it, is the result of your choices. If you don't like where you are, if you're frustrated with your circumstances, if you're tired of feeling stuck, then you need to start making different choices. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, when you'll magically feel more motivated, not next month when things settle down, right now, this moment. Because every moment you wait is another moment of your life passing by, another opportunity slipping through your fingers. The people who succeed, the ones who actually achieve their goals and build the lives they dream about, they're not lucky. They're not more gifted than you. They weren't born with some secret advantage that you don't have. What they have is clarity, they have purpose, they have an unshakable commitment to their vision, and they absolutely refuse to negotiate with mediocrity. They've decided that settling is not an option, that comfort is the enemy, and that the temporary pain of discipline is far better than the permanent pain of regret. I want you to do something with me right now. I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes if you can, or if you're driving or doing something else, just visualize this in your mind. Imagine it's December 31st, 2026. The year is ending. You're looking back over the past 12 months. What do you see? Do you see growth? Do you see achievement? Do you see a person who finally became disciplined, focused, and unstoppable? Do you see someone who kept their promises to themselves? Do you see victories, both big and small? Do you see evidence that you actually changed, that you actually evolved? Or do you see another year of excuses, another year of I'll start tomorrow, another year of potential wasted, opportunities missed, and dreams deferred, another year of being the same person you were last year, just 12 months older? The choice is yours. It's always been yours, and it will always be yours. But understand this fundamental truth. If you choose to stay the same, the universe will accommodate you. Life will continue to give you exactly what you've been getting. The same results, the same frustrations, the same regrets. But if you choose to evolve, if you choose to become relentless in your pursuit of excellence, if you decide right now that mediocrity is no longer acceptable, then 2026 won't just be another year on the calendar. It will be the year everything changed. It will be the year you look back on and say, that's when I finally became who I was meant to be. Transition to personal responsibility. The hard truth. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Let's talk about the real reason why you haven't achieved what you want yet. And before you start listing external factors, the economy, your background, your circumstances, your lack of resources, the people who didn't support you, I need you to pause, take a breath. Because while circumstances certainly matter, while external factors definitely play a role, they're not the whole story. They're not even most of the story. The real reason most people don't succeed is brutally simple. They're not honest with themselves. They say they want success, but they don't want to pay the price. They say they want to change, but they're not willing to feel uncomfortable. They say they want results, but they're not willing to put in consistent, daily, unglamorous effort. They want the destination without the journey. They want the trophy without the training. They want the harvest without planting any seeds. You cannot negotiate with reality. You cannot charm your way to success. You cannot think your way to transformation. You cannot manifest your dreams through positive thoughts alone. You have to work. You have to sacrifice. You have to endure. You have to show up on the days when you don't feel like it. You have to push through when every fiber of your being wants to quit. And most importantly, you have to become the kind of person who deserves the success you're chasing. Here's a hard truth that might sting. Nobody is coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your chapter nerd, not the government, not some magical opportunity that's going to solve all your problems. You are the hero of your own story, and it's time to start acting like it. It's time to stop waiting for permission, for the perfect moment, for all the stars to align, for someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The stars will never align, and you don't need anyone's permission to start becoming who you're meant to be. The only moment that matters is now. The only permission you need is your own. Chapter 2. The Foundation. Building your success system. Now that we've established that you, and only you, are in control of your destiny, let's talk about how to build a foundation for lasting success. Because motivation without strategy is just noise. Inspiration without action is just entertainment. You need both the fire and the map. You need passion and a plan. You need the dream and the discipline. The first pillar of success, the absolute foundation that everything else is built upon, is clarity. You need to know exactly what you want. Not a vague idea, not a general direction, not a wishful thought. You need specific, measurable, time-bound goals that make you slightly uncomfortable when you say them out loud. Goals that make your heart race a little bit. Goals that make you wonder, can I actually do this? When I say specific, I mean specific. I want to be successful isn't a goal, it's a wish. I want to build a business that generates $10,000 per month in revenue by December 2026 is a goal. I want to be fit isn't a goal, it's a desire. I want to lose 30 pounds of body fat and run a half marathon in under 2 hours by June 2026 is a goal. I want to be smarter isn't a goal, it's an aspiration. I want to read 52 books, one per week, covering business, psychology, and personal development by the end of 2026 is a goal. Why does specificity matter so much? Because your brain needs a target. Think of your mind like a GPS system. If you type in somewhere nice, it can't help you. It has no idea what to do with that information. But if you type in an exact address, street, city, state, zip code, it immediately calculates the route, estimates the time, identifies potential obstacles, and guides you there step by step. Your goals work exactly the same way. The more specific you are, the more your subconscious mind can work on finding solutions, identifying opportunities, and guiding your decisions toward that outcome. Take a moment right now, yes, right now. Don't just listen and move on, and ask yourself, what do I actually want to achieve in 2026? What would make this year extraordinary? What would make me look back with pride and satisfaction? Write it down if you can. Make it specific. Make it measurable. Make it challenging but achievable. This is your North Star. This is your destination. Everything you do from this moment forward should either move you toward this goal or be eliminated from your life. The power of systems, the daily game plan. The second pillar is systems. Now, goals are important, we just established that, but systems are everything. Let me explain the critical difference. My goal is I want to write a book. A system is I will write 500 words every morning before breakfast, no matter what. The goal is I want to earn more money. A system is I will dedicate 2 hours every evening to learning high income skills and applying them in freelance projects. The goal is I want to get in shape. A system is I will exercise for 30 minutes every day at 6 a.m. and prepare healthy meals every Sunday for the week ahead. See the difference? Goals give you direction. They tell you where you want to go. But systems give you progress. Systems give you the daily actions that compound over time into extraordinary results. And here's something powerful that most people never realize. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Let me say that again because it's that important. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If your daily routine is chaotic, unfocused, and reactive, if you're just responding to whatever comes your way without any real plan, then no amount of goal setting will save you. But if your daily routine is intentional, structured, and aligned with your vision, then success becomes inevitable. It's not a matter of if, but when. Think about the most successful people you know, whether personally or from afar. Think about the entrepreneurs who built empires, the athletes who won championships, the artists who created masterpieces, the leaders who changed the world. What do they all have in common? They have rituals, they have routines, they have systems that run like clockwork. They don't rely on motivation because they understand that motivation is unreliable, fleeting, and emotion-based. They rely on discipline, and discipline is built through consistent action repeated so many times it becomes automatic. Building unbreakable discipline, the core skill. Let's talk about discipline because this is where most people fail. This is where dreams go to die. They start strong. They're excited. They're energized. They're committed. They tell everyone about their goals. They buy new equipment, sign up for courses, and create elaborate plans. And then 3 weeks in, maybe a month if they're really determined, life gets hard. They get tired, they get distracted, they get comfortable, they skip one day, then another, and just like that, they quit. The dream is abandoned, the goal is forgotten, and they're right back where they started, maybe with a little more regret and a little less self-trust. Discipline isn't about being perfect. Let me be absolutely clear about that. Discipline isn't about never making mistakes. It isn't about being a robot. It isn't about punishing yourself or living a joyless existence of constant work. Discipline is about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work even when nobody's watching, when nobody would know if you cut corners, when nobody would judge you for quitting. It's about choosing long-term satisfaction over short-term pleasure. It's about becoming someone who keeps their word to themselves. Here's the secret that nobody tells you. Discipline is a muscle. Just like your bicep or your quadricep, discipline grows stronger with use. Right now, your discipline muscle might be weak. That's okay. Most people are. You don't need to be ashamed of that. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. But you do need to start training it. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, commit to one thing, just one single thing, and do it every single day for 30 days. Wake up at the same time every morning. Exercise for 20 minutes. Read 10 pages of a book. Meditate for 5 minutes. Journal for 3 minutes. It doesn't matter what the specific action is. What matters is that you do it consistently, without exception, for 30 days straight. Because here's what happens when you do this. You prove to yourself that you can keep a commitment. You build self-trust. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. And confidence is the fuel for massive action. When you trust yourself, when you know deep in your bones that if you say you're going to do something, it gets done, that's when you become unstoppable. That's when you become someone who achieves goals instead of just setting them. the reality of hard work, the unglamorous truth. Now, I need to be completely honest with you about something. I need to shatter an illusion that our culture perpetuates. Success requires work. Real work. Not the kind where you show up for an hour and check your phone every 5 minutes. Not the kind where you tell yourself you're networking, but you're really just avoiding the hard stuff. Not the kind where you're physically present, but mentally absent. I'm talking about deep, focused, intense, often uncomfortable work. The kind of work that makes you question yourself. The kind of work that doesn't provide immediate gratification. The kind of work that nobody sees and nobody applauds. There's this pervasive myth in our culture that success should be easy, that if you're struggling, you must be doing it wrong, that there's some hack, some shortcut, some secret formula that makes everything effortless. And this myth is perpetuated by social media, where we see everyone's highlight reel and none of their struggles. We see the mansion, but not the years of grinding. We see the athletic body, but not the thousands of early morning workouts. We see the successful business, but not the sleepless nights, the failures, the near bankruptcies, the moments of crushing doubt. That's nonsense. Complete nonsense. Struggle is the chapter of the process. Discomfort is the chapter of growth. Difficulty is evidence that you're challenging yourself. If you're not being challenged, if everything feels easy and comfortable, you're not improving, you're stagnating, you're treading water, you're maintaining at best. Think about it this way. When you exercise, your muscles grow by being broken down and rebuilt stronger. When you learn a new skill, your brain literally rewires itself through repeated failure and adjustment. When you build emotional resilience, it's through facing difficult situations and coming out the other side. Growth is inherently uncomfortable. Improvement requires pain. Evolution demands struggle. So if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, if you're feeling challenged, overwhelmed, uncertain, maybe even a little scared, good. That's good. That means you're on the right path. That means you're pushing your boundaries. That means you're not settling for comfort and mediocrity. The question isn't whether you'll face difficulty. The question is, can you endure it? Can you push through when it gets hard? Can you keep going when everyone else quits? Because that's where success lives. It lives on the other side of pain. It lives on the other side of doubt. It lives on the other side of your comfort zone, waiting for someone brave enough to reach for it. Time management and priorities. The truth about busy. Let me ask you a direct question, and I want you to really think about your answer. Where did your time go last week? Can you account for it? If someone asked you to provide a detailed breakdown of how you spent your 168 hours, because that's how many hours are in a week, 168, could you do it? Most people can't. They have no idea where their time went. They just know that they are busy. But being busy doesn't equal productivity. Being busy is often just an excuse for being distracted. Busy is often just avoiding the real work that needs to be done. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else, the same 24 hours as the CEO of a billion-dollar company, the same 24 hours as the Olympic athlete, the same 24 hours as the best-selling author, the same 24 hours as the single parent working 2 jobs and still finding time to pursue their dreams. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't time, it's priorities. It's knowing what matters and ruthlessly protecting it. It's saying no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Successful people protect their time like it's their most valuable asset, because it is. It's the only truly non-renewable resource. You can earn more money, you can build more relationships, you can learn more skills, but you can't create more time. Once it's gone forever. So they say no to distractions. They say no to time wasters. They say no to people and activities that don't serve their vision, even when it's uncomfortable, even when people get upset, even when they feel guilty. This might sound harsh, but you need to hear it. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to something that does. Every hour you spend scrolling social media, is an hour you didn't spend building your skills, working on your business, investing in your health, deepening your relationships. Every evening you spend watching TV is an evening you didn't spend reading, learning, creating, building. Every weekend you spend in mindless consumption is a weekend you didn't spend in intentional growth. I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying you can't relax. I'm not saying you need to work every waking moment. What I'm saying is that you need to be intentional about it. Schedule your downtime. Enjoy it fully. Be present in it. But don't let it bleed into the time you've allocated for growth. Don't let your entertainment become an escape from your responsibilities. Don't let your comfort become a cage that keeps you from your potential. Chapter 3, Mastering Your Mind, the Inner Game. Everything we've talked about so far, goals, systems, discipline, time management, all of it is completely useless if you don't master your mind. Because success isn't primarily physical, it's psychological. The battle for your future is won or lost in the 6 inches between your ears. Your mind is either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. It's either propelling you forward or holding you back. And you get to choose which one it is. Let's talk about the voice in your head. You know the one. The voice that says you're not good enough. The voice that reminds you of every past failure. The voice that tells you to play it safe, to stay small, to not even try because you'll probably fail anyway. The voice that compares you to everyone else and always finds you lacking. The voice that focuses on everything you don't have instead of everything you do. The voice that sabotages your dreams before you even take the first step. That voice is a liar. It's not protecting you. It's imprisoning you. It's not keeping you safe. It's keeping you stuck. And the first fundamental step to mastering your mind is recognizing this crucial truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the awareness behind the mental chatter. And that means you get to choose which thoughts to believe, which thoughts to act on, and which thoughts to dismiss as the noise they are. Here's an exercise that will genuinely change your life if you actually do it consistently. For the next 7 days, every single time you catch yourself thinking a negative, self-limiting thought, and you'll catch yourself dozens of times per day, I want you to stop and challenge it. Interrupt the pattern. Ask yourself, is this actually true, or is this fear talking? What concrete evidence do I have that this is true? What would I tell a trusted friend who was thinking this way? Would I speak to someone I love the way I'm speaking to myself right now? Most of the things you believe about yourself aren't facts. They're interpretations. They're stories. Stories you've been telling yourself for so long that they feel like truth. Stories you inherited from your parents, your teachers, your peers, your culture. Stories that were created in moments of pain or failure and then repeated until they became your identity. But here's the liberating truth. Stories can be rewritten, and the pen is in your hand. You're the author of your life narrative, and you can start writing a better story right now. Visualization and mental rehearsal. Programming your success. One of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal, one that's been used by elite athletes, top performers in every field, and successful people throughout history, is visualization. And this isn't some new age mystical concept. This is neuroscience. This is psychology. This is understanding how your brain works and leveraging it to achieve your goals. Here's how it works, and here's why it's so incredibly powerful. Every morning, ideally right after you wake up when your mind is most receptive, I want you to spend 5 to 10 minutes visualizing your ideal life. Not just seeing it in your mind like watching a movie, but experiencing it, feeling it, living it in your imagination. What does success feel like? What does achieving your goal feel like? What does your body feel like when you're in the best shape of your life? What does your mind feel like when you've developed the skill you're working on? What does your life look like when you've become the person you're meant to be? Engage all your senses. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. Make it as vivid and real as possible. The more detail you add, the more your subconscious mind accepts it as possible. And here's the key. Don't just visualize the end result. Visualize yourself doing the work. Visualize yourself showing up on the hard days. Visualize yourself pushing through when you want to quit. Visualize yourself making the right choices, taking the right actions, being the person you need to be. The more vivid you can make this mental image, the more your brain starts to believe it's possible. And when your brain believes something is possible, everything changes. It starts to notice opportunities that were always there, but you couldn't see. It starts to make connections that lead to breakthroughs. It starts to take actions that align with that belief. It literally rewires itself to support your vision. This isn't woo-woo nonsense. This is documented, studied, proven science. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you visualize yourself succeeding, you're literally creating neural pathways in your brain. You're programming your nervous system. You're training your mind to expect success instead of fearing failure. You're becoming the person who achieves that goal before you've even physically achieved it. Overcoming fear and doubt. The courage to act. Let's talk about fear, because it's the number one thing that holds people back from achieving their potential. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of success, believe it or not, because success brings responsibility and change. Fear of being exposed as a fraud, fear of not being enough, fear of trying your best and still not making it, fear of looking stupid, fear of being rejected, fear of losing what you have while reaching for something better. Here's the truth about fear, and this might surprise you. It never goes away, ever. The most successful people in the world still feel fear. The billionaire feels fear when making a risky business decision. The Olympic athlete feels fear before the biggest competition of their life. The author feels fear before publishing their book. The entrepreneur feels fear when quitting their job to pursue their dream. Fear is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. Fear is often a sign that you're on exactly the right path, doing exactly what you need to do to grow. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't the presence of fear, it's their response to fear. Unsuccessful people let fear stop them. They feel afraid and they retreat. They play it safe, they stay comfortable. Successful people feel fear and act anyway. They've learned that courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is taking action while afraid. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Think about the things you're afraid of right now. Really think about them. Starting that business you've been dreaming about. Having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding, pursuing that dream that seems too big, making that major life change. What's the worst that could actually happen? Not the catastrophic story your anxious mind creates, but the actual realistic worst-case scenario. Write it down. Look at it objectively. Most of the time, the worst-case scenario is far less catastrophic than the vague, undefined terror we feel. And here's something else. Even if the worst-case scenario does happen, you'll survive. You'll learn. You'll adapt. You'll grow. Human beings are remarkably resilient creatures. We're designed to overcome obstacles, to adapt to challenges, to find solutions in difficult situations. But we never discover this resilience until we're tested. We never know how strong we are until being strong is the only choice we have. So I'm giving you permission right now to fail, to mess up, to fall flat on your face, to try something and have it not work out. Because failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a chapter of success. It's how you learn. It's how you improve. It's how you discover what doesn't work so you can figure out what does. Every person you admire, every person who's achieved something significant has failed more times than you've even tried. The only real failure is not trying at all. The only real failure is letting fear win. The power of self-talk, your internal narrative. Pay very close attention to how you talk to yourself throughout the day. Most people, if they actually listen to their internal dialogue, would be shocked at how cruel they are to themselves. They would never speak to another person the way they speak to themselves. They call themselves stupid when they make a mistake. They call themselves lazy when they're tired. They call themselves worthless when they're struggling. They focus obsessively on every error and completely ignore every achievement. This has to stop. This internal abuse has to stop. Your self-talk becomes your reality. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, guess what? You'll find ways to prove yourself right. If you constantly tell yourself you're not smart enough, you'll stop trying to learn. If you constantly tell yourself you'll never succeed, you'll sabotage your own efforts. Your words create your world, especially the words you say to yourself. Start replacing destructive self-talk with constructive self-talk. Replace I can't with I'm learning. Replace I'm not good at this with I'm not good at this yet. Replace I always fail with I haven't succeeded yet, but I'm getting closer with every attempt. Replace I'm stupid with I made a mistake and now I know what not to do. These small shifts in language might seem trivial, but they fundamentally change your relationship with yourself, with challenges, with your potential. Treat yourself with the same kindness, encouragement, and high expectations you'd have for someone you're mentoring, someone you deeply care about and want to see succeed. Be honest with yourself about your weaknesses, yes, but also be your own biggest cheerleader. Celebrate your small wins. Acknowledge your progress. Recognize your effort. Build yourself up instead of tearing yourself down. Building unshakable confidence, evidence-based belief. Real confidence, not arrogance, not bravado, not fake it till you make it posturing, but genuine, unshakable confidence comes from one primary source, evidence. You build confidence by doing hard things and proving to yourself that you can handle them. You build confidence through accumulated small wins that demonstrate your capability. You build confidence by keeping promises to yourself and seeing that you are, in fact, reliable. Want to be more confident? Start keeping a victory journal. This is one of the most powerful practices I can share with you. Every single day before you go to bed, write down 3 things you did well that day, 3 problems you solved, 3 ways you showed up for yourself, 3 times you took action despite fear or discomfort. It doesn't have to be huge things. Small wins absolutely count. Showing up counts. Making the attempt counts. What you'll do tonight, what you'll do tomorrow night, what you'll do every night for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Over time, this journal becomes an undeniable record of your capability. It becomes concrete evidence that you are, in fact, capable of achieving difficult things. It becomes proof that you're stronger than your doubts. And when those inevitable moments of doubt creep in, and they always do, you'll have pages and pages of proof that you've overcome challenges before and you can do it again. This isn't about inflating your ego. This is about building accurate self-knowledge. This is about recognizing your actual capability instead of the distorted, negative view that anxiety and self-doubt create. This is about training your brain to look for what you're doing right instead of obsessing over what you're doing wrong. Chapter 4. Relationships and Environment. Your external influences. Let's talk about something that's uncomfortable, but absolutely crucial to your success. The 5 people you spend the most time with are shaping your future more than you realize. This isn't motivational fluff. This is psychology. This is neuroscience. This is how human beings work. We are social creatures, and we unconsciously adapt to match the people around us. Their habits become your habits through constant exposure. Their attitudes become your attitudes through repeated interaction. Their ceiling becomes your ceiling because it defines what seems normal and achievable. Their language shapes your language. Their beliefs influence your beliefs. Their dreams, or lack thereof, affect your dreams. Look at your inner circle right now. Really look at them. Are they challenging you to grow, or are they keeping you comfortable? Are they supporting your dreams, or are they subtly, or not so subtly, discouraging you? Are they living with intention and purpose, or are they just going through the motions? Are they positive and solutions focused, or are they constantly complaining and making excuses? Are they improving themselves, or are they stuck in the same patterns year after year? This doesn't mean you should abandon people you care about. This doesn't mean you should become cold and calculating about relationships. But it does mean you need to be strategic and honest about who gets access to your time and energy, especially during this critical period of growth and transformation. You need to surround yourself with people who believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. People who hold you accountable when you start slipping. People who celebrate your wins genuinely. People who help you learn from your losses constructively. If you don't have these people in your life right now, that's okay. You can find them. Join communities related to your goals, attend events and workshops, reach out to people you admire and ask if you can learn from them. Build relationships with people who are already where you want to be. Get a mentor. Find an accountability chapter near. Join a mastermind group. Success loves company, and so does excellence. Creating your optimal environment, design your space. Your physical and digital environment is constantly programming you, constantly influencing you, constantly shaping your thoughts and behaviors. The books on your shelf send you messages. The cleanliness or chaos of your space affects your mental state. The content you consume shapes your worldview. The music you listen to influences your mood. The art on your walls impacts your inspiration. All of it is either moving you closer to your goals or pulling you away from them. There's no neutral. Everything is either helping or hurting. Take a look around your physical space right now. Does it inspire you? Does it support your goals? Does it reflect the person you're becoming? Or is it chaotic, cluttered, draining? Your external environment is often a reflection of your internal state, and it also shapes your internal state. It's a two-way relationship. Clean up your space and you'll notice your mind feeling clearer. Organize your desk and you'll find it easier to focus. Remove distractions from your bedroom and you'll sleep better. This week, I want you to do an environment audit. It sounds formal, but it's simple. Go through your living space and ask about every item, every piece of furniture, every decoration. Does this serve my vision for 2026? Does this support the person I'm becoming? If it doesn't, change it. Clear the clutter. Create a dedicated workspace that's organized and inspiring. Put up visual reminders of your goals. Vision boards, motivational quotes, images of what you're working toward. Make your environment work for you, not against you. The same principle applies to your digital environment, which many of us spend even more time in than our physical space. What's on your phone? What apps are you using? What's in your social media feeds? What YouTube videos are in your watch history? What podcasts are you listening to? What websites do you visit? All of this is content, and content shapes consciousness. Content influences mood. Content directs attention. Content suggests identity. Choose wisely and deliberately. The isolation phase, the lonely season. Here's something nobody tells you about transformation, something that often surprises people. It usually requires a season of isolation, a season where you intentionally pull back from certain social obligations, where you say no to invitations more than you say yes, where you spend Friday nights working on your craft instead of chapter yin, where you wake up early on weekends to train instead of sleeping in, where you invest your free time in learning instead of mindlessly consuming entertainment. This phase is uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. It's lonely. People won't understand. They'll think you've changed, and they're absolutely right. You have changed. That's the whole point. They'll take it personally when you turn down invitations. They'll feel abandoned when you're not available like you used to be. They'll question your choices. They'll try to pull you back to your old patterns because your growth makes them uncomfortable about their own stagnation. But this isolation isn't about being antisocial or thinking you're better than others. This is about recognizing that transformation requires focus, and focus requires saying no to distractions, even pleasant ones. This is about understanding that you cannot become a new person while maintaining all your old patterns and relationships. Some relationships will evolve and deepen through this process. Others will naturally fade, and that's okay. Not everyone is meant to be in every chapter of your life. Release people with love. Wish them well, be kind in your distance, but don't let guilt keep you trapped in a version of yourself you've outgrown. The right people will understand. The right people will wait. The right people will support your journey even from a distance. And when you emerge on the other side of your transformation, you'll attract new people who match your new level. Learning to say no. The power of boundaries. One of the most powerful words in the English language, one of the most important skills you can develop, is the ability to say no clearly, firmly, and without guilt. No to distractions, no to time wasters, no to people who drain your energy, no to opportunities that don't align with your vision, even if they're good opportunities. No to obligations that aren't truly important. No to the constant demands on your attention and time. Understanding this principle is crucial. Every yes you give is automatically a no to something else. You have finite time and energy. When you say yes to scrolling social media, you're saying no to reading that book. When you say yes to that chapter Y, you're saying no to working on your project. When you say yes to staying in a draining relationship, you're saying no to the possibility of a healthy one. Your yeses and nos determine the shape of your life. So you need to protect your eyes. You need to save them for the things that truly matter, for the relationships that feed your soul and challenge you to grow, for the projects that align with your purpose and move you towards your vision, for the activities that build skills, create opportunities, or bring genuine joy. Everything else, everything that's just okay, just fine, just acceptable, needs to be a no. Practice saying no this week. Start small if you need to. You don't need to be rude about it. You don't need to over-explain or justify yourself. A simple, "I appreciate the invitation, but I have other commitments," is perfectly sufficient. You don't owe anyone a detailed explanation of how you choose to spend your time. Notice how it feels. Notice the guilt that might arise. That's just conditioning. It will pass. Notice how it frees up space in your schedule and your mind for what actually matters. Chapter 5. Habits and Consistency. The Daily Game. Here's one of the most important concepts you'll ever learn. One that once you truly understand will change how you approach every single day. Small actions, repeated consistently over time, create extraordinary results. This is called the compound effect, and it's the secret behind every overnight success that actually took years to build. Think about it mathematically. If you improve by just 1% every single day, just 1%, which is such a small amount you might not even notice it, by the end of a year, you won't be 365% better. You'll be 37 times better than when you started. 37 times. That's not addition, that's multiplication, that's exponential growth. That's the power of compounding. Small improvements multiplying over time create massive transformation. But here's the thing that nobody wants to hear. It works both ways. If you get 1% worse every day, if you allow your standards to slip just a tiny bit each day, by the end of the year, you'll have declined to nearly nothing. Small negative actions also compound. Skipping one workout seems harmless, but skip one, then another, and 6 months later, you're completely out of shape. One missed day of work seems fine, but keep making excuses, and years later, you're still at the same level with the same results. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and dramatically underestimate what they can do in a year with consistent daily action. They expect immediate results, instant gratification, and overnight transformation. And when they don't see dramatic changes after a week or two, they quit. They give up. They decide it's not working. But success doesn't work that way. Success is built slowly, incrementally, brick by brick, rep by rep, day by day, through consistent action that most people aren't willing to commit to. Building keystone habits. The domino effect. Not all habits are created equal. Some habits are more powerful than others. Some habits, when established and maintained, create a positive ripple effect that transforms other areas of your life. These are called keystone habits, and identifying and building yours is one of the most leverage points available to you. For example, if you start exercising regularly, something magical happens. You're more likely to eat better because you don't want to waste your workout. If you eat better and exercise, you're more likely to sleep better because your body is healthier and more tired in a good way. If you sleep better, you're more likely to have more energy and better focus during the day. If you have better focus, you're more likely to be more productive at work or in your business. If you're more productive, you're more likely to feel accomplished and confident. See how one habit creates a positive cascade of changes? Identify your personal keystone habit. What's the one habit that, if you committed to it consistently, would have the biggest positive impact on your life? Maybe it's waking up early, which gives you quiet time for yourself before the day's demands begin. Maybe it's daily meditation, which centers your mind and reduces reactivity. Maybe it's journaling, which increases self-awareness and clarity. Maybe it's reading, which expands your knowledge and perspective. Maybe it's exercise, which energizes your body and mind. Whatever it is, identify it and start there. Don't try to change everything at once. That's a recipe for failure, overwhelm, or burnout. Master one keystone habit first. Build it so deeply that it becomes automatic, non-negotiable, as natural as brushing your teeth. Then add another, then another. Build your ideal life one habit at a time, one day at a time, with patience and consistency. The 2-day rule, maintaining momentum. Here's a practical, simple tool for maintaining consistency that's been game-changing for thousands of people. The 2-day rule. Here's how it works. You're allowed to miss one day of your habit, but never 2 days in a row. One missed day is life. You got sick, you had an emergency, you were traveling, something legitimate happened. 2 missed days is the beginning of a new pattern, a new identity, a slide back into old behaviors. This rule is brilliant because it gives you flexibility without destroying your momentum. It acknowledges that you're human, that perfect adherence is impossible, that life happens, and sometimes you need to adapt. You can be sick, you can have a genuine emergency, you can take a planned rest day, but you never let 2 days pass without getting back on track. This prevents the "I've already blown it, so I might as well quit" mentality that derails so many people. One missed day is a deviation. 2 missed days is a new pattern. Think about it. If you miss 2 days, it becomes easier to miss 3. If you miss 3, 4 doesn't seem like a big deal. Before you know it, you haven't stuck to your habit in a week, then 2 weeks, then you've completely abandoned it. The 2-day rule creates a circuit breaker that stops this slide before it gains momentum. Remember, and I cannot stress this enough, perfection isn't the goal. Consistency is the goal. It's infinitely better to work out for 20 minutes 6 days a week than to plan for perfect hour-long workouts that you only complete once a week. It's better to write 200 words every day than to plan for a 2,000-word writing session that you keep postponing. It's better to eat one healthy meal per day than to plan for perfect nutrition that you can't maintain. Show up consistently even when it's imperfect, even when it's less than you hoped, and you'll win. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Tracking your progress, making it visible. What gets measured gets managed. What gets tracked gets improved. If you're not actively tracking your progress, if you're not writing down your actions and results, you have no idea whether you're actually making progress or just spinning your wheels. You're operating on feelings and hopes rather than data and facts. Start tracking the behaviors that matter most to your goals. If your goal is financial, track your income and expenses daily. Every dollar earned, every dollar spent. If your goal is fitness, track your workouts and nutrition. Every exercise session, every meal. If your goal is learning a skill, track your practice hours. Every minute of focused practice. Use whatever method works for you. A physical journal, an app on your phone, a spreadsheet on your computer. The specific tool doesn't matter. The act of tracking, the consistency of recording, that's what matters. Here's why this practice is so incredibly powerful. First, tracking makes you accountable to yourself. When you have to write down that you skipped your workout or ate poorly or didn't practice, it creates a moment of recognition that changes behavior. Second, tracking provides objective data instead of subjective feelings. Your emotions might tell you you're not making progress, but your data might show steady improvement. Third, tracking reveals patterns you might not have noticed. Maybe you always skip workouts on Thursdays. Now you can plan around that. Maybe you're most productive in the morning. Now you can schedule important work then. And perhaps most importantly, tracking creates positive momentum through visible progress. Seeing a streak of consecutive days builds motivation to keep going. Having a visual representation of your growth feels rewarding. Being able to look back and see how far you've come is incredibly empowering. Don't underestimate the power of tracking. It's simple. It takes just a minute or two per day, and it can make the difference between success and failure. Dealing with setbacks, the bounce back. Let's be completely realistic. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have weeks where nothing seems to go right. You're going to face obstacles you didn't anticipate. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail at things. This isn't pessimism. This is reality. The question isn't whether you'll face challenges. The question is how you'll respond to them when they inevitably appear. When you hit a setback, when things don't go according to plan, here's the exact process I want you to follow. First, acknowledge what happened without judgment. Don't beat yourself up. Don't spiral into negative self-talk. Don't catastrophize and turn one bad day into evidence that you'll never succeed. Just acknowledge the objective facts. This happened, that's reality, now what? Second, identify the lesson. What can you learn from this experience? What would you do differently next time? What factor did you not account for? What assumption was incorrect? Every setback contains information, contains feedback, contains a gift if you're willing to look for it. Failure is expensive education. Make sure you're actually learning from the tuition you're paying. Third, adjust your approach based on what you learned. If your strategy isn't working, change it. If your plan has a flaw, fix it. If your assumptions were wrong, update them. Don't keep doing the same thing expecting different results. And fourth, get back to work. Don't dwell. Don't ruminate. Don't let the setback define you. Learn the lesson, make the adjustment, and keep moving forward. Setbacks aren't failures unless you let them stop you. They're feedback, they're information, they're opportunities to become more resilient, more resourceful, more determined. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. That's a myth. They're the ones who fail, learn quickly, adapt, and keep going anyway. They're the ones who bounce back faster. They're the ones who view obstacles as puzzles to solve rather than walls that stop them. Chapter 6. The Long Game, Building Lasting Success. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want results now. We want success fast. We want the body, the business, the skills, the life we dream about delivered to our doorstep like a package from Amazon with next-day shipping. We're addicted to quick fixes, shortcuts, hacks that promise maximum results with minimum effort. But real success, deep, meaningful, lasting success, doesn't work that way. It never has, and it never will. The truth that nobody wants to hear is that anything genuinely worth achieving takes time, significant time. Building a successful business takes years of work, years of learning, years of failures and adjustments before you figure out what works. Building a strong, healthy, capable body takes months and months of consistent training and nutrition, not 3 weeks of motivation. Building expertise in any field takes thousands upon thousands of hours of deliberate practice. Building deep, meaningful relationships takes years of trust building and shared experiences. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. There are no secrets. There's just work, time, consistency, and persistence. This is actually good news, even though it doesn't sound like it. It's good news because it means that if you're willing to play the long game, if you're willing to be patient and persistent, you've already eliminated 90% of your competition. Most people quit too soon. They give up right before the breakthrough. They stop watering the seed right before it sprouts. They abandon the project right before it takes off. They quit the relationship right before it deepens. They change strategies right before the current one starts working. But not you. You're different. You're one of the few who understands that success is a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to be one of the rare individuals who keeps going when everyone else quits. You're going to put in the unsexy, unglamorous, invisible work that nobody sees, nobody applauds, nobody even knows about. You're going to show up day after day, week after week, month after month, whether you feel motivated or not. And years from now, people will call you lucky, never knowing the thousands of hours you invested when nobody was watching. Redefining success, what it really means. Before we go any further, before you invest more time and energy into pursuing success, I need you to pause and do something crucial. I need you to define what success actually means to you. Not what society says success is, not what your parents told you success should be, not what looks impressive on social media, not what makes other people respect you. What does success mean to you? What would make your life feel successful to you? Because here's the thing that many people discover too late. You might achieve every external marker of success. The money, the status, the recognition, the titles, the possessions, and still feel empty, still feel unfulfilled, still feel like something's missing. And that's because external success without internal alignment is just decorated emptiness. True success is living in alignment with your deepest values. It's waking up excited about your day. It's doing work that feels meaningful to you. It's building relationships that nourish your soul. It's growing into a person you genuinely respect. Take real time to get clear on this. Don't just skim past it thinking you'll come back to it later. Actually stop and think about these questions deeply. Write down your answers. What does your ideal life actually look like on a daily basis? What do you want to experience? What do you want to contribute to the world? What do you want to become? How do you want to feel? What kind of person do you want to be? What will make you proud when you're old and looking back? Your honest, thoughtful answers to these questions will guide every decision you make from this point forward. Legacy and impact, your greater purpose. At the end of your life, when you're taking your final breaths and looking back, nobody's going to care about your bank account balance. Nobody's going to care about your job title or how many hours you worked. Nobody's going to care about your car, your house, your possessions, your achievements. What they'll remember, what will actually matter, is how you made them feel, the impact you had on others, the difference you made in the world, the love you shared, the way you showed up, the lives you touched. This doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue financial success or career advancement. It doesn't mean ambition is wrong or goals are pointless. It means you should pursue them in service of something bigger than yourself. What's the legacy you want to leave? What's the impact you want to have? What do you want people to say about you when you're gone? How do you want to be remembered? When you connect your daily actions to a larger purpose, when you link your goals to a meaningful why, everything changes. The hard work doesn't feel like a burden, it feels like a calling. The setbacks don't break you, they refine you. The journey doesn't exhaust you, it energizes you. The sacrifices don't deplete you, they fulfill you. Purpose is the ultimate fuel for sustained effort and resilience. The power of gratitude, appreciating the journey. As you work intensely toward your goals, as you push yourself to grow and achieve and become more, don't forget to appreciate where you are right now. Don't forget to recognize how far you've already come. Don't wait until you reach your destination to feel satisfied, because if you do, you'll never feel satisfied. There will always be another goal, another level, another achievement to chase. The destination keeps moving, but the journey is happening right now. Gratitude isn't just some fluffy, feel-good concept that sounds nice but doesn't matter. Gratitude is a powerful psychological tool that literally rewires your brain for happiness, resilience, and success. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It changes your energy from scarcity to abundance. It transforms your relationship with your life from complaint to appreciation. Every morning, before you start chasing more, before you start working on your goals, take just a moment to acknowledge what you already have. Not to be complacent, not to stop striving, but to be grounded. To remember that you're building from a place of abundance, not scarcity. To recognize that even in pursuit of better, you're already blessed in countless ways. Count your blessings, acknowledge your progress, appreciate the people who support you, recognize the opportunities you have. This practice will fundamentally transform your journey. When you're grateful for what you have, you attract more to be grateful for. When you appreciate your progress, you create momentum that pulls you forward. When you celebrate small wins, you build confidence for bigger challenges. When you acknowledge growth, you encourage more growth. Gratitude isn't soft, it's strategic. It's one of the most powerful practices for sustained motivation and lasting success. Chapter 7. The final call to action, your commitment. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground together in this journey. We've talked about clarity and goals, about systems and discipline, about mindset and psychology, about habits and consistency, about the environment and relationships, about patience and persistence, about purpose and gratitude. We've explored the complete architecture of transformation, the full blueprint for becoming extraordinary. But all of this information, every single word, every principle, every strategy, every insight is completely worthless unless you do something with it. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. Understanding without implementation is just intellectual curiosity. Inspiration without execution is just a temporary feeling that fades and leaves nothing behind. So here's what I need from you. Here's what you need from yourself. Here's what this moment requires. A real decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a maybe I'll try. A real committed all-in decision that you're going to become the person who achieves extraordinary things in 2026. Your action plan, the concrete steps. First, choose one specific goal, just one for now. Don't try to transform every area of your life simultaneously. That's a recipe for overwhelm and failure. Choose the one goal that matters most to you right now. Make it specific. Make it measurable, make it time-bound, make it challenging but achievable. Write it down, say it out loud, make it real. Second, identify the keystone habit that will move you toward that goal. What's the one daily action that, if you did it consistently, would inevitably lead to your goal? If your goal is fitness, maybe it's working out every morning. If your goal is financial, maybe it's learning a high-income skill every evening. If your goal is writing a book, maybe it's writing 500 words before breakfast. Whatever it is, identify it clearly. Third, commit to the 2-day rule starting today. You can miss one day, but never two in a row. This is your insurance policy against total failure, your safety net that allows for imperfection while maintaining momentum. Fourth, set up a tracking system, something simple that you'll actually use consistently. A journal, an app, a spreadsheet, a calendar where you mark an X for each day you complete your habit. Make your progress visible. Give yourself the satisfaction of seeing your streak grow. Fifth, share your commitment with someone who will hold you accountable. Not someone who will let you off the hook, not someone who will make excuses for you, someone who cares about you enough to call you out when you're slipping, to remind you of your commitment when you're wavering, to celebrate your wins when you're succeeding. And finally, the most important step, start. Not tomorrow when you feel more ready, not next Monday when the week is fresh, not next month when things settle down. Now, today, this moment. Take the first action right now. Do something, anything, that moves you one tiny step closer to your goal. Understanding the path, what to expect. I want to be completely honest with you about what lies ahead. The path to your goals won't be smooth. It won't be linear. It won't be easy. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, when everything clicks, when you feel like you're exactly where you're meant to be. Savor those days. Remember them. Let them fuel you. But there will also be days when you feel like a fraud, when nothing works, when you question everything you're doing, days when you want to quit, days when it all feels pointless, days when you're exhausted, discouraged, frustrated, defeated. Those days are the chapters of the process. Those days are chapters of the price. Those days are necessary. On those hard days, I want you to remember this conversation. I want you to remember that difficulty is not evidence that you're on the wrong path. Difficulty is often evidence that you're on exactly the right path, doing exactly what you need to do to grow beyond your current limitations. The pain you feel is your old self fighting against your new self. Let the new self win. You will face obstacles you didn't anticipate. You will encounter setbacks that seem unfair. You will make mistakes that feel crushing. You will have moments of doubt so strong that quitting seems like the only logical option. And in those moments, you'll have a choice. You'll always have a choice. Will you let this moment define you, or will you let your response to this moment define you? The person you're becoming, your future self. Take a moment to visualize the person you'll be in December 2026. Really see them. This future version of you has spent an entire year making the right choices, taking the right actions, building the right habits. They've overcome obstacles. They've learned from failures. They've grown through challenges. They've become someone new. This person is stronger than you are now. More disciplined, more confident, more capable, more resilient. They have skills you're still developing. They have experiences you haven't had yet. They have wisdom you're still earning. They have the life you're building. And here's the most important thing. They're looking back at you right now at this exact moment, hoping you'll make the right choice, hoping you'll become them, counting on you to take the actions that transform you into them. Don't let them down. Don't let your future self down. They're depending on you. They can't exist without the work you do today, tomorrow, this week, this month, this year. You are creating your future self through your present actions. Every choice you make is a vote for the type of person you're becoming. Who are you voting for? The ultimate truth, you are capable. Listen to me very carefully, because this is the most important thing I'll say in this entire conversation. You are capable of far more than you realize. Far more. The version of yourself that you'll be in December 2026, the person who's achieved their goals and transformed their life, is not some distant, impossible fantasy. That person is real. That person is achievable. That person is waiting for you to step into that identity. You have everything you need to begin. You might not have everything you need to finish. You'll develop those capabilities along the way, but you have everything you need to begin. You have this moment. You have the next 24 hours. You have the ability to make one better choice, to take one action, to move one step forward. That's all you need to start. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't as large as your fear makes it seem. It's just a series of small steps taken consistently day after day. It's just a collection of better choices made repeatedly until they become automatic. It's just showing up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard and doing the work. Your final choice. This moment. You have a choice right now, a real consequential choice that will shape the entire trajectory of your next year and beyond. You can close this chapter, go back to your old life, your old patterns, your old excuses. Nobody will blame you. It's comfortable there, it's familiar, it's safe, you know what to expect. There's no risk of failure because there's no risk of trying. But it's also suffocating. It's also limiting. It's also keeping you from discovering who you really are and what you're really capable of. It's a cage disguised as comfort. It's a prison disguised as security. And deep down, you know it. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening. That's why a chapter of you is desperate for change. Or you can choose differently. You can choose to become uncomfortable. You can choose to do the hard work. You can choose to show up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's difficult, even when nobody's watching. You can choose to become the person who earns the life you dream about instead of just wishing for it. The year 2026 will come whether you're ready for it or not. Time will pass. Days will turn into weeks. Weeks will turn into months. And before you know it, another year will be gone. Another chapter of your life will be closed. The only question that matters is, who will you be when it ends? Closing. The empowering truth. Will you be the person who finally did it? Who finally broke through? Who finally became everything you knew you could be? Who finally kept their promises to themselves? Who finally proved that they were capable of extraordinary things? Will you be someone who looks back with pride, with satisfaction, with the deep fulfillment that comes from knowing you gave it everything you had? Or will you be the person with another year of excuses? Another year of "I'll start tomorrow" that never comes? Another year of unrealized potential? Another year of being the same person, just older with the same regrets plus a few more? The answer is entirely up to you. It always has been. It always will be. Nobody can make this decision for you. Nobody can do the work for you. Nobody can transform you except you. This is your life, your journey, your responsibility, your opportunity, the power within you, recognizing your strength. I want you to think about every challenge you've already overcome in your life, every difficult moment you survived, every obstacle you navigated, every setback you recovered from, every time you thought you couldn't go on, but you did. Every time you felt broken, but you found a way to put yourself back together. Every time life knocked you down, and somehow, some way, you got back up. You are stronger than you realize. You've proven it already, time and time again. The fact that you're here right now, listening to these words, seeking growth, wanting better for yourself, that's proof of your strength. That's evidence of your resilience. That's testimony to your unbreakable spirit. Think about the person you were 5 years ago. Look at how much you've grown. Look at what you've learned. Look at the challenges you've faced that would have destroyed that earlier version of you. You've already transformed. You've already evolved. You've already proven you can change. Now you're just going to do it again with more intention, more strategy, more purpose. The ripple effect, your impact on others. Here's something profound to consider. Your transformation doesn't just affect you. When you change, when you grow, when you level up, you give permission to everyone around you to do the same. Your courage inspires courage in others. Your discipline encourages discipline in others. Your success proves that success is possible. Think about the people in your life who matter to you, your family, your friends, your children, if you have them, or the children you might have someday. What kind of example do you want to set? What kind of story do you want them to tell about you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave in their minds and hearts? When you become extraordinary, you show others what's possible. When you refuse to quit, you teach others about resilience. When you keep your commitments to yourself, you demonstrate integrity. When you pursue your dreams despite fear, you model courage. Your life is a message. Your actions are a lesson. Your transformation is permission for others to transform too. You're not just doing this for yourself. You're doing this for everyone who's watching, everyone who needs to see that change is possible, that growth is achievable, that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. You're proving that background doesn't determine destiny. Those circumstances don't define capability, that yesterday's failures don't dictate tomorrow's success. The investment perspective, long-term thinking. Every action you take toward your goals is an investment in your future. Every workout is a deposit in your health account. Every hour of learning is a deposit in your skill account. Every relationship you nurture is a deposit in your network account. Every dollar you save is a deposit in your financial account. And just like financial investments, these deposits compound over time. But here's what most people don't understand. You can't make withdrawals from accounts you haven't invested in. You can't withdraw energy from a body you haven't taken care of. You can't withdraw opportunities from relationships you haven't nurtured. You can't withdraw expertise from skills you haven't developed. You can't withdraw confidence from challenges you haven't faced. Right now, today, this moment, you're either making deposits or making withdrawals. You're either investing in your future or borrowing from it. Every choice to stay comfortable is a withdrawal from your potential. Every decision to pursue growth is a deposit in your future. The question is, what kind of investor are you going to be? The people who are successful in 2026 won't be the ones who got lucky. They'll be the ones who made daily deposits starting today. They'll be the ones who invested when others were consuming. They'll be the ones who planted seeds when others were wishing for harvest. They'll be the ones who understand that the best time to invest is always now. The inevitable obstacles. Preparing for reality. I need to prepare you for something. The obstacles will come. Life will test you. Right when you feel like you're making progress, something will happen that threatens to derail you. You'll get sick. You'll have a financial setback. A relationship will become difficult. Work will become demanding. Something unexpected will occur that disrupts your plans and challenges your commitment. This isn't pessimism. This is preparation. This is making sure you're not surprised when difficulty arrives. Because when you're not surprised, you're not derailed. When you expect obstacles, you can plan for them. When you know storms are coming, you can build a stronger foundation. So right now, before these obstacles appear, I want you to make a commitment. A commitment that no matter what happens, no matter what curveball life throws at you, no matter what unexpected challenge emerges, you will find a way to keep going. Maybe you'll slow down, maybe you'll adjust your approach, maybe you'll ask for help, but you won't quit, you won't give up, you won't abandon your vision. Write this commitment down. Make it specific. When obstacles arise, I will. When I face setbacks, I will. When I feel like quitting, I will. Having these pre-planned responses is like having a fire extinguisher in your house. You hope you never need it, but if you do, you're grateful it's there. The truth about motivation. Building beyond feelings. Let me tell you something about motivation that most people don't understand. Motivation is not a prerequisite for action. You don't need to feel motivated to take action. In fact, it usually works the other way around. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. You start moving and the motivation follows. You begin the work and the energy comes. You take the first step and the path appears. Waiting until you feel motivated is a trap. It's a clever excuse your comfortable self uses to keep you stuck. I'll do it when I feel motivated. I'll start when I'm inspired. I'll take action when the energy is right. But that perfect moment never comes. The motivation you're waiting for is on the other side of the action you're avoiding. This is why systems matter more than goals. This is why discipline beats motivation. This is why the 2-day rule is so powerful. Because you don't need motivation when you have a system. You don't need inspiration when you have discipline. You don't need to feel like it when you've committed to it. The most successful people don't operate on motivation. They operate on commitment, on identity, on non-negotiable standards. They've decided who they are, and they show up as that person regardless of how they feel. They're writers who write even when they don't feel creative. They're athletes who train even when they don't feel energetic. They're entrepreneurs who work even when they don't feel inspired. Your declaration, speaking it into existence. I want you to say something out loud right now. If you're in a place where you can speak, say these words out loud. If you can't speak out loud, say them powerfully in your mind. But either way, declare this with conviction. I am capable of extraordinary things. I am stronger than my doubts. I am more powerful than my fears. I am committed to my growth. I am worthy of success. I refuse to settle for mediocrity. I will show up every day. I will do the work. I will keep my promises to myself. I will become the person who achieves their goals. 2026 is my year of transformation. This is my time. This is my moment. I am ready. How did that feel? Notice the shift in your energy when you declared that. That's the power of declaring your intentions. That's the power of speaking your truth. That's the power of claiming your future before it arrives. Don't underestimate the importance of declaring who you're becoming. Words have power, declarations have power. What you speak over yourself shapes what you become. So make the decision right now, at this moment. Commit to yourself, commit to your growth, commit to your dreams, commit to becoming extraordinary. Not because it will be easy, but because you are capable. Not because success is guaranteed, but because the attempt is worth making. Not because you have to, but because you can. Because you deserve more. Because you're meant for more. Because there's greatness within you waiting to be unleashed. Because you didn't come this far to only come this far. You didn't survive everything you've survived just to settle for a mediocre life. You didn't make it to this moment just to turn back now. You didn't dream these dreams just to watch them fade. You didn't discover your potential just to ignore it. You are destined for more. You are capable of more. You are worthy of more. You've always known it. Now it's time to prove it. The final promise to yourself. Make this promise to yourself right now. I promise to show up. I promise to do the work. I promise to keep going even when it's hard. I promise to believe in myself even when nobody else does. I promise to bet on myself. I promise to invest in myself. I promise to become the person my dreams require me to be. I promise that when I look back on 2026, I will be proud of who I became and what I achieved. This isn't a promise to anyone else. This is a promise to you, from you. This is a sacred commitment between you and your future self. Your future self is depending on this promise. Your future happiness depends on this promise. Your future success depends on this promise. Don't break it. Honor it. Protect it. Live it. Not someday in the distant future, today, not when you're ready. You'll never feel completely ready. Not when it's convenient. It will never be convenient. Not when circumstances are perfect. They'll never be perfect. Not when you have more time. You'll never have more time than you have right now. Not when you have more money. You can start with what you have. Not when you know more. You'll learn along the way now, right now. This moment is all you have. This moment is all you need. This moment is everything. Your future self is watching. Your future self is hoping. Your future self is counting on you to become them. They need you to make the right choices. They need you to take the right actions. They need you to become the person who achieves extraordinary things. Don't let them down. Don't let yourself down. Don't let your dreams down. Don't let your potential go to waste. The ultimate declaration, your year of transformation, the year 2026 is yours for the taking. The life you dream about is waiting for you to claim it. The person you're meant to become is ready for you to step into that identity. The success you desire is available to you. The transformation you need is possible for you. Everything you need is within you. Everything you want is available to you. Everything you dream about is achievable for you. But you have to decide, you have to commit, you have to act, you have to become. Nobody else can do this for you. Nobody else will do this for you. This is your responsibility. This is your opportunity. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your year. Stand up right now if you can. Stand up and feel the power in your body. Feel the strength in your legs. Feel the beat of your heart. Feel the breath in your lungs. You are alive. You are capable. You are powerful. You are ready. Everything you need to begin is already within you. The only thing missing is the decision to start. So start, begin, move, act, do something right now that moves you toward your goal. Make a phone call, send an email, do 10 push-ups, write the first paragraph, register for the course, have the conversation, take the first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be something, because something is infinitely more than nothing. Action beats intention every time. Now go. Take action. Do the work. Face the challenge. Embrace the discomfort. Welcome to growth. Become disciplined. Become focused. Become relentless. Become unstoppable. Become the person you've always known you could be. Become the person your dreams require. Become the person who makes 2026 legendary. The time is now. Not later, not tomorrow, not next week. Now. The person is you, not someone else, not someone more qualified. You. The year is 2026. This is your year, your time, your moment, your transformation. Make it count, make it matter, make it memorable, make it extraordinary, make it legendary. This is your awakening. This is your transformation. This is your year. Now go create it. And there it is. We've covered everything you need to transform your life in 2026, from clarity and goals to systems and discipline, from mindset and psychology to habits and consistency, from relationships and environment to patience and purpose. You now have the complete blueprint for success. But let me be clear about something. This information is worthless without your action. You can know everything and achieve nothing if you don't apply what you've learned. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people isn't knowledge, it's execution. It's the willingness to take what you know and actually do something with it. So here's what I want you to do immediately after this audio ends. First, write down your one primary goal for 2026. Make it specific, measurable, and challenging. Second, identify the one daily habit that will move you toward that goal. Third, take one action, just one action right now, not tomorrow, right now. Send that email, do those push-ups, make that phone call, write that first paragraph, whatever it is, do something immediately that starts your transformation. Because here's the truth. If you don't take action within the next hour, the chances of you ever taking action drop dramatically. The inspiration you feel right now will fade. The motivation will diminish. Life will distract you. And you'll be right back where you started, listening to another motivational audio next month, hoping this time will be different. Don't let that happen. Don't be that person. You've invested almost 90 minutes in yourself today. Honor that investment by taking immediate action. Honor yourself by keeping the promise you made. Honor your future self by becoming the person they need you to be. If this audio impacted you, if something resonated, if you feel that spark of possibility, then I encourage you to share it with someone else who needs to hear this message. Success is meant to be shared. Transformation is contagious. When you grow, you give others permission to grow too. When you change, you inspire change in others. Be that catalyst. And here's my promise to you. If you apply what you've learned here, if you consistently show up and do the work, if you refuse to quit even when it gets hard, then 2026 will be the year you look back on and say, that's when everything changed. That's when I finally became who I was meant to be. Remember, you are capable of extraordinary things. You have everything you need to begin. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to start and the commitment to continue. Make that decision now. Keep that commitment daily. This is an SMQ audiobook reminding you that your transformation starts today, not someday, not when you're ready. Today, right now, this moment. Your extraordinary life is waiting. Go claim it.